Welcome back to Unusual GCSE Maths Questions. I'm going to do this one on my own because Grace is eating a bagel or something. She might say something, maybe, if I get it wrong. Right, so this question is from the Edexcel Higher 2020 paper. It was the COVID year, so it says June on the paper, but it was actually sat in November. And it's paper 1, question 18, and it's about proportionality. So I'll put that on the screen now. Have a look at it, pause it, see if you can do it. And then I'll be back. Right, I'm back. This is a question about proportionality. As you can see, I've summarised it on the board. X is proportional to the square root of y, where y is greater than 0. We're told that y is increased by 44%, and then the question says, what is the percentage increase in x? Right, so it's a bit of a tricky little question. The first thing to think about maybe is this y is greater than 0. Sometimes when you see a little condition like this, you might wonder, why is that there? Sometimes it's something that you don't need to think about until the end of the question. I think in this question it's more of a straightforward thing, isn't it? Because remember, you can only square root numbers that are greater than or equal to 0. So I think we can just pretty much ignore that because it's just something that goes along with the idea of a square root. I don't think it's going to be important. Right, so if x is proportional to the square root of y, x is proportional to the square root of y. This is direct proportion, not inverse proportion. Remember, with proportionality, it's kind of one of those topics where you're supposed to set it out in a particular way. It's always good to set things out neatly, but use the proportionality symbol to begin with. So you've shown that you understand what you're doing. And then I would say that means that x is a multiple of, a fixed multiple of the square root of y. And they tend to use k for the constant of proportionality. So that's what I'm going to do. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to say, well, what's going to be affected if y is increased? Okay. So I'm going to sort of park this idea, but now I'm going to increase y by 44%. Now we know that if we increase y by 44%, hopefully you know that is the same as multiplying y by 1.44. Okay. And this is because, you know, when you do percentage increase, you can increase by a percentage by multiplying by 1 point followed by that percentage. Now the thing to spot straight away now is that 1.44 looks like 144. And 144 is a square number, isn't it? And what I'm going to have to do is bring this number outside of the square root sign. So I'm going to use my knowledge of how square roots work. So if it's the square root of 1.44 times y, that's the square root of 1.44 multiplied by the square root of y. And because we know the square root of 144 is 12, we can see that the square root of 1.44 is going to be 1.2, isn't it? So what this is k times by 1.2 times the square root of y. And if I slightly rearrange that, that's 1.2 times k. So we're almost done at this stage. The tricky thing about this is just following what's actually going on. So what we're saying is x equals k times the square root of y, but if we increase y by 44%, well, we do that, and we end up here with x being equal to 1.2 times by what it was originally. And if you multiply something by 1.2, you've increased it by 20%, haven't you? Because of that rule about increasing by a percentage, multiplying by 1 point followed by the percentage. So we can just read off that because we know what it means, and we can say that x has increased by 20%. Think I need to say any more about that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Gracie's happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. If there are any other questions you want us to look at, let us know and we'll do another video.